Welcome to another edition of In 20. Later on in the program we'll have...
Hello, welcome. I'm Ashley.
Just about everyone who knows Ashni Shah has something positive to say about her. Ashni is a young violinist.
But first up, we feature the learning disability, dyslexia, and Chika Odua brings us that story.
Have you ever heard of dyslexia? Well, if you haven't, then you're not alone. The condition known as dyslexia is largely unheard of here in Kenya. Throughout this series, you will meet children suffering with dyslexia. And by the end, hopefully, you will have a greater understanding of just what it is. The average Kenyan has never heard of dyslexia.
Which one?
Dyslexia.
Dyslexia, no. I've not heard of it.
I've not an idea.
Dyslexia, I've never heard of that.
Is there another word for dyslexia? No, then I haven't. No.
And the question is, why? Why have so many people never heard of this condition?
Maybe there's no our channel through which people can be educated about such a thing.
Probably because they don't read wide, or they're not, or it's a hard word. Probably if there's another word for it, I'd be knowing about it, or someone else would be knowing about it.
To me, it's something actually very new.
It may be a new word to many, but to Felix Kariuki, the word is all too familiar. He knows exactly what dyslexia is.
The ability of not reading, spelling.
Felix is a regular 11-year-old boy. He is very active, and he says he likes to play sports. Felix attends Carmelvale Primary School in Donham, Nairobi. And he has a mother who cares about him deeply.
Right?
But when Felix was in nursery, his mother noticed something very strange about her son.
When he went to school, at first he started developing like problem. He didn't want love school. He started getting excuses of not going to school. That was as early as pre-unit and nursery.
His mother realized that her son could barely read or write.
I realized that he's reversing D's and D. You tell him to read around anything in the street, he can't read. He hated reading. He hated going to school. There's a time he drew a boat. They drew a name. Mm-hmm. When he drew the boat, he wrote toad. You see, all the letters are there. D, you know. So I was like, what's wrong with him?
I just don't like reading. When I start reading, some teachers tell me to stop because I don't read well.
Felix continued to have trouble reading from class 1 to class 2 to class 3. That's when his mother began to research. What was wrong with Felix?
In me, I knew there is something. I am not able to figure out what it is. I got so much concerned when he was in class 2, but when he was in class 8, that's now when I discovered his problem was dyslexia.
Dyslexia was first identified in 1881. It is a condition where the brain has difficulty processing symbols, such as letters. Today, Felix suffers with this disorder. He says going to school is hard because people make fun of him.
Some teachers call me buffoon. That she may feared that she might have been out in the street. Sometimes I believe I'm not able to read, and I just feel uncomfortable.
He doesn't differentiate the difference between B and D, P and Q. When it comes to reading, he doesn't differentiate on the double letter words. For example, even when he goes to spell the word with a double letter word, a word like commemorate, connection, you find him skipping the double N on the connection and double M on the commemorate. Is it? Yes. Give me examples of nouns.
Eunice Katumbi has been teaching Felix English since he was in class 4. She said she was shocked when she realized how bad his reading and spelling skills were.
The first thing I did was to write in the diary because I seriously wanted to meet the parent. So as a teacher, there are times when you get so concerned when you really find that there's a child who has a problem in your class.
But it was not the parents' fault.
The teachers blame us. You are not helping your child. You are not looking at the homework. You are not helping your child to read. And I blame the teacher. It's like, she's not concentrating on my son.
When Felix is called to read in class, he gets very shy and does not want to face the embarrassment.
I don't feel like reading. I read low so that people cannot hear what I'm reading, the wrong spellings.
But fortunately, Felix has a teacher who cares about him.
Felix is a boy. Yes? Yes. Felix is a boy. Yes? Yes. One statement about Felix using the adjectives.
His mother told his teacher about dyslexia 2 years ago. Now she finally understands what was wrong.
When he's reading, perhaps the rest laugh at him. You tell them, oh, let's give him time to read. No, shut up, let's give Felix time to read. You have to curb that behavior of the rest laughing. So if you encourage him, if you comfort him, and if you tell him, repeat again, he feels, oh, so the teacher can give me a chance to try. He feels more happier when you give him a piece of chalk and tell him, Felix, can you write on the chalkboard what you've just said? So he goes on the chalkboard, he writes. When you correct it with love.
And because of the love she has for her son, Phyllis is now an advocate for children who have dyslexia.
I realized that there are many people in Kenya suffering because of dyslexia. They have been rejected and stigmatized because of this condition.
Yeah. Or no one could reach him.
Test caterpillar lied the
lamb, and you are my new friend.
Good. It's not a disease. It's not something that you can administer medicine and it just goes like TB or malaria or something.
Kids like Felix must live with dyslexia for the rest of their lives. That's why some kids with dyslexia get so frustrated that they drop out of school. Or they become very lonely. Even Felix says that sometimes he just wants to be alone.
I just go somewhere there's not many people. Say to myself.
But as they say, where there is a will, there is a way. And Felix has a mother who is willing to fight for him to succeed.
He doesn't abuse me or beat me. He helps me. Extending about 200 kilometers. Demand for the crop has greatly reduced land under.
There is other gifts that these children have. They may not be able to read, but they still can succeed as many people have succeeded.
No one knows how many children in Kenya are suffering with dyslexia, but the fact remains. Dyslexic children face constant embarrassment. How long will they suffer in silence? In Nairobi, I'm Chika Odua for N20.